Hmm. Yeah, boys and girls, I'm back. All right, let's get back with our technical errors. Let's go. There really should be some music here. Why is there no music here? All right. Anyway, begin transmission. There we go. All right. Okay. Now when we switch back. No. Hey, all right, there we go. So let's go play. Can't tell if this is like overpowering or something. So let me just jump into OBS. You might lose the audio for a minute. All right. Yeah. Why is it so damn loud? All right. I think it's just in my headset. We'll be adjusting the volume on this. It sounds awful loud for what I'm dealing with. I'm just gonna dial it down in here. That's a little more like it. All right. Tell you, it's so hard to get this thing right. So yeah, welcome back. This is Sugi2K doing his thing for the Fleet broadcast, and I'm just gonna sort of be playing around here. I want to check on my fleet first. It seems like, yeah. Um, if we go in here, I can just kind of see what's going on. Um, check on our holdings. Everything looks good. Um, I attended a meeting actually with another fleet over the weekend, or I didn't really attend. I kind of just sort of listened in, and they do have a recording of it on their site. But I just wanted to get a better sense of how others would do this because I've never been a part of another like fleet or guild or anything like that. This is the only one I've ever done. And I usually had other folks who were helping me. So people like AJ and other and Drat who were involved in sort of managing things and Zohan. Um, so it's a little more like I wanted to sort of find out how other people did it. So I did my research, and I kind of like what I came away with. These were people who obviously had been doing it just as long as we had. They had, as far as like I think their Star Trek Online presence, maybe about a good um, 13 years at this point. So some of them were involved with the beta, which is even before I joined on, and I joined in like almost at the very beginning in like 2011, I think, or 2000. Maybe it was 2012. I think it was 2011, and sort of pre free to play and all that. When you still had to pay for it monthly, I got to actually had purchased like a year's, the lifetime subscription. So I was in it from the beginning, even before it was free. And I can't say I regret it. I had like a lot of fun. It certainly has its ups and downs, but I'm sticking with this. This is pretty much the only game I want to invest any time in. There are other games I do like. I've messed around with Guild Wars. I've also played some of Neverwinter and Champions. I find Neverwinter to be kind of actually difficult. But this one, certainly as a Star Trek fan, it's right up my alley, and can certainly deal with it. Let's see. I'm trying not to be too crazy with the mic. I know that I'm not very good at that, so I can't tell. I'll look afterwards and see if the audio is coming through clear or not. I had a few issues with my setup in OBS. Matter of fact, I'm going to just quickly take a look at it, so you might lose the audio for the game. Not that there was much going on there, but it seems like it's picking up and the audio levels are correct. Get a little bit of the sound coming in, so it's recording the audio from the game as well. Been also using the auto switcher plugin for OBS, which I'm becoming a fan of, and I'm going to use it for some of my stuff for work, and there's working with kids, so I get to play around with these things a little bit and show them sort of how these things might work. So I have to do a little exploring myself, and it's a great excuse to sort of just learn some of this technology and get a better handle on it. Here we go. So, it looks like we're doing okay. I might want to throw a little in here, kind of kick some of these projects into gear that they might be struggling with. Usually it's dilithium that people have problems with, or duty officers. So be sure to, chip in there when you can. I don't spend a lot of money on the game. I usually sort of just grind all this stuff out. It does take a long time, and I don't necessarily recommend it unless you can't afford it and you want to still play the game. Typically, like if you go into the Z store and you can go and buy your additional Zen, I'm not going to open my account entirely, but that could run up a cost. Folks, I mean, if you're having hard times, don't dump your money into a game. But if you can afford it, I think it's a better use of your time in some ways to actually just, buy the things you need. Again, if you can afford it, to sort of just move things quickly. Things like the keys, so you can get into your whatever. Not just forego the ships if you really want to improve. Because frankly, this was sort of a moniker for a problem that you had with the game. I shouldn't say a moniker. It was like something that was anticipated as being problematic. The aspects of the in-game economy that would make it actually more prone to basically financially pay to win, basically, rather than just free to play, right? So you can have 1 million people in here who pay nothing, but in order to excel, you do sort of have to invest a bit of money, if not time. And so that was always people have different feelings on that. My recognition is that at the end of the day, all these things are a business and people's livelihoods, so it needs to be accounted. Nothing's really free in life, and people's efforts should be rewarded when they do produce something. And of course, that should be of a reasonable quality to justify the money you're investing in it. But this is still something should be gained for it. I'm sure people can find flaws in my logic or whatever, but that's basically how I feel about it. I feel the right to grouse and complain when things don't go well, or I don't really like something, because yes, I am investing in it, but it has to be tempered against sort of the recognition that first of all, the quality of what you do get, this kind of stuff isn't as easy as it looks, and also the recognition that there's people's livelihoods behind this art is a product. It requires effort to create talent and skill, even for things that you may not think are that great. But it still required someone's effort to put it together for your benefit. And so when you pay for it, that you complete the cycle, they can continue doing the work, and you can continue enjoying the product. Okay, so that's enough about economies and stuff. Uh, anyway, looks like I'm just gonna shore up the colony world. Let's see, anything else that's kind of close. Right. So we're fully um, completed. Sorry, excuse me. Fleet. We have all our assets and holdings. I would say not a lot of attendance at the moment. We're at a safe buffer that I don't feel any need to kind of go and do any purges. I recently activated the admirals, so they can now help support in terms of promotions, which I hope they're doing. Again, remember, in this fleet, uh, I'm kind of putting this on you, our members, to actually go in there and keep up with your promotions, because again, everybody's doing this is not doing it. They're not getting paid. No one's. As a matter of fact, they're probably paying to some extent to play the game and keeping things going. Uh, in some cases, so it's not like you know I want to overburden people with things that frankly they shouldn't be overburdened with. Yes, you want to be attentive to the fleet and make sure people are promoted in a timely fashion. But you know, to be real, it's kind of hard to keep track of it. And if we could, work in a way that actually is mutually beneficial to everybody, so that no one gets overloaded and nobody is feeling left out at the same time. Uh, yeah, if you feel you need to be promoted, a lot of it is really just a request. You need to make sure that you do follow the standards that we've set forth in the information tab here. Uh, and I'm sort of doing this kind of as a review. I've obviously talked about this several times, especially at the beginning of the year, end of last year, beginning of this year. I don't know where I'm getting all this stuff in my throat from. And it's a way for you to actually do it. So I'm doing my thing here. I got in quite a bit later. It's actually like 10:30. All right. So but you can see what the rules are for promotion, and if you feel you've met the requirements, then just contact one of the admirals, or one of the JCOS like myself, or any of the others. Remember, James, Jonak, Zohan, everybody, and say, hey, look, hey, I want to get promoted. Let me know, and usually we'll do it. Again, the rank structure here is really just these first four ranks. Is all you get for promoting, just sort of whatever. These are sort of like our administrators and monitors, captains and admirals, and then the joint chiefs is the fleet ownership. So that's basically so we can secure the fleet, keep the critical functions, so that nobody walks away with all our hard work, including yours. It's you know, I say fleet ownership, but it's really kind of like gatekeeper in terms of trying to keep things protected in terms of the fleet, so that like nothing bad happens. I recently also expressed I have an interest in now sort of exploring the Armada system. I was really kind of against it for a very long time. I didn't really want to do this, but and the main benefit for doing it is obviously to expand the fleet base so that it actually can support more people. But like I said, we're nowhere near our capacity. We're halfway through the capacity, even with everybody's alts and everything on here. Don't flood it with alts now, but um, I really think we need to focus more on expanding the fleet itself, and me sort of making an effort to, recruit new players and get some things going. And that's why I've been sort of poking around in some of the other fleets to see how they do things, and get a little bit of input maybe in terms of how to improve this fleet. So I'm doing my research and doing my legwork, trying to make sure things are, what they're supposed to be. Um, I really would like to sort of, you know, get things moving. It's in some ways, it's nice. I think to have a quiet fleet where there's not much going on, and you can sort of just concentrate on playing gameplay and still get the benefits of the fleet when you need it. That's kind of what we are. But there was a time when it was a little bit more social, a little bit more active, and I feel like it doesn't hurt, right? Uh, so I'm looking at a few things. Like, first of all, I need to get some feedback from Zohan and some of the others who did some of the initial stuff here. Reactivating something like strategic command, or our internal chat, where we can actually do our interfleet sort of chat stuff. We used to have multiple fleets, but they weren't tied together through the Armada system. They were just sister fleets that were sort of, existed in parallel to this one. That would include like the KDF fleet and the what do you call it? The Romulan one. So it's just the cross faction fleet. Now there's a Jem'Hadar out there. I think they're still, they still kind of fall under either KDF or whatever. So it's not really, you still only really have two factions for fleet as far as fleets are concerned. But again, this is sort of that way to cross pollinate and make sure things are working. There are a ton of channels here. I feel like kind of was overkill. Obviously, it's a lot of stuff that I'm doing, but there's the built-in ones, the Armada, local, blah blah blah. Officer zone. These are all built-in ones. AF channel is the other fleet, and then there's some of these other ones which I got involved with somehow. I think in poking around with these fleets, I got involved with some of these other channels and picked them up. But my thing is flooded. And it is Wolf Guy. Say it is Wolf. Wolf. A couple of these sort of local channels. Like I think I created one of these, and then Zohan created another one, and just kind of ended up using Zohan's. No big deal. I've also, have the Discord channel that's running, which I don't know if anybody ever actually looks at. Actually, I should start it up because I want to make sure it's actually running. Oh, it's running. Okay, cool. But I'm not in it. So let me get in there, actually, just in case anybody should be, like, poking around for some reason and not find me there while I'm doing this stream. Now, I'm not going to be on long. I just wanted to give it a try. See some of the things I'm working on. All right. So, Screamer's Voice. Yeah, let's do the Baconator channel. So you can join me there if you want. Not a requirement, but I'm going to be streaming along quite happily just on my own. But if you want to join in and chat a little bit, you can find me there. Now, I do try to still stick to this Monday schedule for stuff, even though I'm kind of only loosely following it. Typically, I will not be on before 9 o'clock, but I might be on afterwards. So don't rule this out. I probably should say that this is more of a rough, loose schedule than it is a set, time frame. But I am on almost every night. The main way to communicate with me is through, the game mail, STO mail, whatever you want to call it. But that's where you would do it. So I'm gonna just my seal all warped. No biggie. This is from the other fleet that I was looking at. But yeah, it's a place to do your thing. I haven't been playing around with Kick too much, but I did want to sign in with her. I'll say, hiya fleet. Even though I know nobody's there, we're going to do strategic command also, so we could do, there we go. It probably just says something really bad in Spanish. But so let's see. There's this is Kick, and she's been doing her thing, right? She's still the same old Kick, and I'm trying to see. Like I said, she's kind of maxed out and everything. Um, but what I've been doing, I'm going to switch characters just for this purpose. Uh, oh, wait. Before I do that, I should just walk in. So Wolfie's on. Great. So yeah, I'm dropping my words because I've had a very stressful sort of month this week, which is kind of typical actually. But been kept kind of busy at work and everything, so it's been a little extra. Uh, the so I'm gonna do switching tunes. Oh, so I need so he knows. Always a good thing to do. Let the other people in your channels know that what you're doing. So I'm not gonna disappear in a minute. Let's go. Let's do. I'm gonna log out Kick and log in Colleen here, which is the temporal agent character I've been working on, and is finally getting close to actually completion. So I recently did the Spectres storyline. I was trying to follow up on a YouTube channel stream I saw where they were doing. I guess it was sort of like a sort of navigation kind of thing. They were talking about fleet builds for movement, right? Like I just can't think of what the word I'm looking for right now. But basically, I have this ship, the Odyssey. And I'm back. So, Colleen is a character I created at the end of last year to do the temporal agent. The temporal agent recruit, right? Temporal recruit. Right? I don't know what it's called. So they give you the little doodad that you need to actually use to track your progress, basically your progress tracker. And in here, you need to fulfill all these things, of course, to complete the temporal agent, whatever. I am so close. But because she's a new character, the things that she needs to do in order to complete it, um, yeah, well, the things that may require some time and effort. Everything else is completed. Probably set myself up for a really anticlimactic event because this is supposed to be something where I was hoping to see if there's any real benefit to sort of completing these things in this entirety. So I started her from scratch, set her up with a thing, started during the temporal agent event, of course, or temporal recruit thing, whatever event when it started, and played through the entire mission. I was sort of like very adamant about completing this thing and gutting through everything, right? And you basically get your rewards along the way. So it's probably not going to be anything too spectacular at the very end, I imagine, because they've frankly given you a lot already. Um, between drops and kicks, and accolades and whatever, you do have quite a bit going on, right? So, I would say it's like these aren't lock boxes or loot boxes, loot drops, whatever. I forgot what they're called. And then, like down here, I haven't even claimed this one, right? So this is. Let's see what I get for this. Claim it. I think. Okay, I'm claiming. Yeah, took a second. And so it looks like a bunch of duty officers. Let's take a look. They should be down. Nope. They probably flew right into my roster. I can tell I've advanced in the game because my roster is filled up. All right. But anyway, I did create calling for this purpose. One of the reasons for streaming this right now is sort of to update it. My alarm's probably gonna go off in a second, so I'm gonna pause it. But actually, I'll just stop it because I know it's gonna happen already. Now, but down here, it just these are the two last things, and it's just these commendations I've got to complete. Um, I think this one is reach rank 4 and 4 duty officer commendation categories. I've got 2, and I got several up here lined up for 3, including trade down here at the bottom. Frankly, at that point, I'm gonna be pretty burned out on this character. Because, like I said, I'm sort of, just sort of bum rushing and binge playing this to get to that point. Mostly, these are the only things I'm really concerned about her on at this point. Just completing these, and so I can get this temporal agent thing done. She's now, I've gotten to the point where she is a relatively decent character. It's been a while since I've started the tune. I did one for the Klingon recruit, but I didn't play it. So that's probably the next one I need to work on. But here I see that, yeah, this will work. And I'll keep doing this because this is easy. Just bing and bing. And just keep moving. You can almost do this like blindfolded at this point. Just focusing on this. So this is like a no big deal sort of thing. So I did mention before that I joined the fleet, another fleet, to sort of just get a sense of how fleets operate, to be perfectly honest. And this one I did was the Apocalypse Survivors. They just kind of randomly invited me, and I said, "Oh yeah, okay, I'll do it." And it turned out to be okay. I was a little leery because when people sort of blindly invite me, I tend to be, I guess, a little suspicious and paranoid in this regard. For most of my life, games were played. They weren't actually MMOs and everything. They were just sort of single players, and you play at your own time and whatever. It is kind of like, I think, a little hard for me to adjust to the idea of, or I shouldn't say at this point, it's been like 10, 13 years. But like I said, this is really the first one I ever really did that. The closest thing I ever did to this before was when they had the muds and mucks back in old text stuff. Probably dating me. But that was, very low commitment. You kind of go in there, and it tended to sort of evaporate very quickly, too. So, if you were running a muck or a mud, whatever, it's sort of very dependent upon a person who was running it. They didn't tend to be very robust in terms of their survival rate, but some I think were. But it's just, most of the ones I was in sort of just, they kind of came and sort of went very quickly. I think they were very hard to maintain. This, of course, has the fan base for Star Trek on it. It never went over to have the Dungeons and Dragons crowd, and then you have these sort of things. So it's smart to build on it. Warcraft, World of Warcraft, of course, is built upon its own brand, which is also based upon a franchise that sort of was pre-existing. I feel like the Star Wars franchise ones tended to have a bit of a bumpy history. They seem to do well for a while, and then get just sort of, I guess, fall apart or something. I'm not really sure what happens there, but it's a this is sort of like I guess like the most stable that I've ever sort of been involved in terms of like consistency for a fan base. But like I said, it's sort of like the fleets themselves. The platform's good, but the fleets themselves, like in this case for us, it's been a little bit slow. That's why I want to get things going. Anyway, back to sort of talking about this. We have. I kind of want to see if we'll say anything about it. Yeah, just checking now. I want to make sure that he's not there. All right. Anyway, um, I was gonna say I'm on Discord at the moment. I should really check actually if Discord can hear me. I can't really tell. Discord is oops. Yeah, they definitely can hear me. Oh, oh, oh. All right. I should probably mute that. Anyway, moving on. I think it's okay. The so I attended their meeting. Actually, more like watch the follow up recording. So they have a recording of their fleet meeting, and I gotta say they do seem like a very organized group. Um, these apocalypse survivor guys, uh, and it was interesting. Sort of. I mean, I wouldn't say that the revelations were like groundbreaking rocket science kind of stuff. Um, but at the same time, it sort of emphasized sort of where the efforts need to be placed and what things can be done to sort of make this fleet be a little more robust. So you get a sense of it. It turns out I think one of the guys is actually involved with the development of the wiki for the game. So it's he's actually the fan base version. How we get to it? I think if you go here and you go to well, I'm stuck. You can see here he was pointing out the STO wiki is moved, just so we know it's actually moved. Um, uh, but he's actually seems to be involved with this with the development of the wiki, which is pretty cool to hear from somebody on that end. Um, and uh, you know, like I said, they've been in this game just as long as we have for the most part. I think you know, essentially some of them have been from the very beginning with the beta. Uh, or well, maybe at the very beginning because it is a beta, but basically from early on. Why not? What is wrong with my typing? All right, so yeah. So, I can't tell. It's a little hard to like read, sort of, kind of sort these channels out. I really need to pin them down a bit. I think I'll clean up some of this stuff so I'm not. Let's see. So the Discord channel I used to actually use for like fleet runs, and also when I was doing things working in the foundry, and we'll do like meetings and stuff. So it was sort of like an incidental kind of thing. I never really used it like on a consistent basis. Um, let's see. I have the link in the info tab. All right. So actually, we grab that and share it with Wolf here. So I want to see if he gets anything. So information. If you look on here, it should be there, right there, on the website. Oh, that's the other team, the other fleet. So, uh, what did he do? What did he say? Also streaming at the moment. Let me see. Where is the Discord link? I'm gonna bring it up so I can share it with him. I think I have it here. No, not use. No. Let me get out of that. Where is it? All right, can never remember where these things are. You know what? I can actually stream in Discord too. I keep forgetting you can do that. I forgot how to stream. Oh, here's your screen. Yeah, okay. We'll share. Go live. Yeah, why not? But that's just the Discord. Why would I even want to do that? All right, so let me close that because that's confusing. That's even more confusing. All right, stop. Let's try it again. Star Trek Online is what we want. Let's go live. Grant access. Say yes. There we go. All right. I'm going to find my link wherever it may be. And let me see if you remember. I think that's it. Invite people? No. Let's see. Discord. Server settings, right? And overview integrations, member invites, right? And I need my standing invite. Why does this have a time frame on it? Welcome wagon. All right, so I'll probably have to update this, I guess. Invite code, where are you? How come I can't see it? They should all be like public invites, so I don't know what the story is. All right, I'm just going to create a manual one and invite people directly to this particular channel. Copy. Invite. It expires in 7 days. Copy, and we'll close. We'll go back to our stream. And so, yeah, if you want, that's where I am. I'm kind of now dual streaming, and I'm sure it's going to create all kinds of problems. It seems like everything I do with OBS is a bit unstable, but if if it tanks it, that's okay. It's more for just the fun of doing it rather than anything imperative. Anyway, I'm trying to keep this interesting and keep talking through it. I'm not going to be on all night. I'm just going to try and do this quickly unless we find some difficulty while I'm waiting. But anyway, to go back to talking about the what's this thing? This fleet, right? So I joined this fleet, Apocalypse Survivors. They're pretty huge. What I can tell, I didn't realize how big they are. I also didn't realize I could join your Discord channel either. And I believe they have a website. I'm not sure. We kind of have a website, but it's it's kind of fallen into neglect and probably needs a little bit of attention. Hopefully, it's not been taken over by hackers again, which has happened in the past. So be careful with it. I'll take a look at it maybe after I'm done here and see what the current status is. But so don't go in maybe before 10 tonight. I'll take a look. I'll put up the all clear in the fleet mail once I've taken a look. Anyway, I might try and tackle that myself. Before Zohan had actually set that up, that was his site. And again, like he was putting a lot of effort into things and like that. and I did create like a very sort of just for operational purposes kind of site using I think it was the Google you know website thing whatever, which is effectively like a tripod site or something. Good old days, if you remember that. And I mean, it had the fleet policies up there as well as sort of like the a news section and some other things. It wasn't very involved, and I don't think these things need to be any more complicated than they have to be. This game is already very complicated in and of itself, but it was sort of a way to sort of create a place to centralize some of the information that we would do that wasn't dependent upon the game. I've since condensed a lot of it into just this. This is not mine, of course. This is the Apocalypse Survivors, but it's something along these lines where most of the information that you need is just in the information tab. You don't need to go any place to find it. Um, and keeping as much in game as possible, I think, is really important. Hey, so Wolf, if you're in a streaming channel, just say something. Like, I don't think I can hear you, or maybe you're not. And are you? Are you there? Can't tell. Uh, okay. That's all right. I'm just babbling on for a little bit, and then I'm gonna be done. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I think I thought it. I thought it. Didn't I say I was streaming? I thought I said I was streaming. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to blindside you with it or kangaroo court you so into my stream. Um, though it would be nice to have someone to talk to, except for just myself, me, myself, and I. All right. So, anyway, back to Apocalypse Survivors. Like I said, they had a good meeting over the weekend. And I thought it was revealing to me. I got some good insight. Maybe even enough to actually feel comfortable talking to them. So, I'm probably going to reach out to them and sort of maybe get a little bit of input. See what this community is really like. As you can see, I'm looking at their chat channel down here, right? And we can see all our business going on over here. But their AF channel is their Interfleet channel. They have others apparently, and it seems pretty robust, right? There's a lot of communication. People are very active and involved, and I don't necessarily say that that's what it has to be. It's not. I'm pushing to say that we have to be overly social. It's not really that at all. But I think a little bit of familiarity with one another, getting to know each other a little better, is a good thing, right? It certainly won't hurt for us to become, a little familiar with one another, to talk and chat about stuff. I think that's also a good way to avoid problems that might come up in case of like misunderstandings, for example. I try to make myself very much available for anybody who's in the fleet to come and talk and let me know if there's any problems, whether that be through the game mail. I check it every time I sign in, so there's no reason why you can't. If you're getting bounce backs, let me know too. Um, I cleared out my mailbox, so there should be plenty of stuff to come in. It's not on my end at that point. But I would like to hear from you and see what you have to say. And sort of pushing that communication is probably going to be a little bit priority that I want to pass on to some of the admirals. Come on, guys, let's help me out here. Let's get this fleet cooking. Um, it's someplace where I think we could take this fleet kind of back to a place where it used to be. And I kind of remember fondly at the very beginning, it was a different kind of community. I would say that as far as online communities, the STO community is still pretty good, though it does have its times. Right? Fleet management has turned out to be challenging at times, um, but I try to approach it with a good sense of humor and try to be supportive and try to understand where people are coming from. Um, and you know, I'm very patient. And that's uh, I know it sounds like it's something I want to be like. I'm not promoting myself, but I'm just saying like, hey, look, I'm willing to listen, and yeah, it does take a bit of effort in some cases, but it's something that I strive for. I try to be patient. I try to be understanding. I try to listen to what you have to say. So, come on and tell me. I'm all ears. I'll listen. I'll find out what you have to say. Uh, you know, a lot of this is always a learning process for me. Lifelong learner, keep learning. So just poke in here, say hi, and do something. All right. Anyway, that's kind of a theme for this. Like I said, the group meeting here was pretty good. If you have ideas from other fleets, definitely let me know. They have an armada system. This is actually, I think, like this is Division 8. I think I'm in here. Uh, and then they're in, I guess, this Division 7 armada. So there's like a bunch of buildings up and above this. They have several fleets that are fully operational. So yeah, it looks like they've got some things pretty much pinned down. They know what they're doing. They're involved in several different games, which is something I kind of wanted to do also with our fleet, is to sort of expand to other games so that if you wanted to play other things, you could. And that's also why things like the Discord channel are sort of useful, so that you do sort of cross-platform, whatever. At the time that we were doing it, we were using TeamSpeak and I think it was just TeamSpeak or Verio. I forget. It's like some with a V. But basically, those I think those are long been supplanted by things like Discord and other services. All right. Anyway, enough of the history lesson. I kind of really do like this ship, even though it's essentially a freebie. There's mostly I like the design of the bridge. So actually, let's go to the bridge. We're floating around out here in space. Visit the bridge. There we go. Now. So yeah. And this is when we're still producing full-fledged interiors for the ships, rather than just a bridge. That's something I don't like. But granted, all the interiors were the same beyond the bridge, so it really wasn't that much different. This captain's quarters is still identical. It's like, why am I on the ancient cheap bridge from the very beginning of the game back in 2010? If you go down here, okay, it's turbo lift, same turbo lift that frankly they haven't upgraded since the Enterprise D. We can go to our crew deck, and yes, we can visit a blast from the past and see the old captain's quarters. I think this is the captain's quarters. This might be the crew lounge. No, it's captain's quarters. That's right. So if you want to have a look back at 2010, this is it. This is the same room you've had for a decade. But yeah, I still miss these interiors for the newer ships. I feel like that's I don't understand. If you're using the same interiors anyway, why not have them? It's just the turbo lift, right? That needs to be connected to the other maps. So it's something that's always puzzled me. Granted, maybe we don't need everybody running to every corner of the ship just to do like your duty officer assignments and access your not the fleet bank but your local bank, and other things. But it's nice to have a show. This is so much of what Star Trek is about. To sort of, or like every fan's dream is to be able to kind of walk around the ship and say, "Yeah, the captain, hey, look at me, I'm doing my thing." And I also wish it would allow you to set your own uniform for your crew, so that when they're wandering around here, they're just not, looking like, "Hey, dude, you need to update your uniform." All right, so being able to design those would have been nice too. But again, these are all sort of things that I used to cross about in the past. It's not a big deal. Let's go back bridge. Oop, nope. Anyway, let's see. It look great. Let's see. Who's easy? Does he want to come to my bridge? Is he watching? I don't see him popping up here in chat. Okay. Cool. Anyway, you probably get a 4-second delay, so you'll probably be catching this like, I'm not gonna invite you just yet. if you want, just sort of chat in here. I don't think you need to go to my bridge. This is nothing you haven't seen before. But yeah, I do think like this was clearly one of, I think, their better efforts as far as the bridge designs. It's the most interesting to me. I'm sure people might disagree. When I was doing the Foundry, I used to use this. I used this a couple times as one of my maps for a couple of the episodes that I designed, and it was cool. It was a lot of fun. You can do a lot here. I found use for all these different little random consoles, and maybe someday, who knows? I know that they're saying basically no, but maybe someday someone will sort of like say, hey, look, remember the Foundry, and someone will have a change of heart and bring it back. I know it was a bear to maintain, but maybe if someone, I know that they have limited staff too, as I was pointing out, someone could develop or redesign a properly integrated, system that could be, I guess, like a little more tied into the actual game, so that it didn't break so easily, or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it needs to be less tied in so it doesn't break so easily. But then you wouldn't gain access to all the maps. I get it. It can be complicated, and from what I read about it in the forums, it was a heart-wrenching decision that they actually decided to put the shutter to Foundry. So, hey, I like the idea of being able to tell your own story in a way. Just right, you're the captain, sitting in the captain chair. So if you were of the creative sort, I thought that was even when I started, like when I first took on the fleet, I started a section that was designed specifically for the Foundry. And I had a couple people who I worked with who were also writers and stuff, and so we came up with some story ideas, found ways to sort of, I was trying to also sort of support the role play thing. I don't really push that as much anymore, but I thought that was a neat element too, where you could have people sort of act out some of the positions in the game, so that when you did the Foundry, it had a more life to it, and gave a little more of an immersive kind of quality to this game. It was, it was okay. In terms of maybe like what we did with it, but it was sort of a lot of fun producing it, a lot of people had some really good stories actually in the Foundry. So yeah, I kind of miss it, and there was also obviously some people were using this sort of. Because I think at the time it was still producing drops, so they were actually creating maps that were just designed to satisfy your farming and everything. So I think it was another reason it may have gotten killed, that those sort of not so much talked about. But yeah, I remember it fondly. May it rest in peace for the time being, and hopefully maybe someday it will rise again. So we'll put this bridge behind us. I'm going to leave the ship. See the universe. I got a beam out of my bridge. Where am I going? Outer space. All right. So Um, yeah. Anyway, Colleen's in this apocalypse. Okay, I'm making somebody sick. The apocalypse survivors fleet. And that's what she's doing here. She's basically learning. Um, I'm learning, and I'm trying to figure out exactly how to make the fleet better. If there's anybody who wants to help me make the fleet better, that's what I'm looking for. By all means, join me. And I've said that many times in our fleet mail. So pay attention. This is your opportunity. Jump in. I'm trying to give you guys as open a hand as I can without handing over the keys necessarily. Um, and I know some people object to that sort of position, but that's the way we're doing things for now, at least. And I feel like that's in the spirit of what our the fleet founders wanted, and they're still around, so it's not like they've gone anywhere. Uh, so, um, and I feel like it's you want to keep it easygoing and fun, relaxing is probably more at this point. It just feels like it's a little too relaxed. It's kind of almost gotten catatonic. I want to get a little bit more activity going on in there. So I'm looking at recruiting again. I'm gonna push again for the admirals to just to keep moving forward with that. I think it's important. That means that the fleet will crowd up again, and I'm gonna have a discussion with them about when we should purge that kind of. It's not if, it's when, because we always have to do that. You have to keep in mind that you need to sort of recycle things and freshen them up once in a while. Uh, but I want to make sure everybody's at least sort of on the same page as much as possible. Uh, so that when it does happen, it's not so traumatic. And they understand that there's a reason for it, and they can always come back. Uh, as I mentioned, in our fleet, not this one, when you come back, you do come back, and you can come back in basically the rank that you left if it doesn't have any responsibility attached to it. So, like I said, uh, the top three ranks basically are the ones that would have had like 5 to 7. They still match up with ours. Would have been the ones that actually have responsibilities attached to them, and then the rest are just sort of like the base ranks that would go forward. Sort of like your what do you call it? I guess it's called enlisted in the military. I can't remember. And basically, those will be your E whatever through 4 or whatever, and then the officers are the ones sort of have responsibilities. So they weren't given at the time, but I'm not kicking anybody out. This doesn't matter. They could stay there. There's obviously plenty of room, and so long as people are actually doing something, the more the merrier. That's the way things are at the moment. I'm going to switch back to KK since it's getting kind of confusing trying to talk about it through this other fleet. Um, Back. And slow. There we go. Probably because I'm streaming 2 channels at the same time. Well, here we go. Back and kick. Alright. And I'm going to probably sign off in a moment and sort of maybe focus a little bit on game. I'll also do my laundry. So I need to run downstairs and take care of that. But, oh no! I've accidentally activated my transwarp. So, while we're flying to space recklessly, in no particular direction, now we can actually look at my fleet tab and see what's going on. So here's the settings. Okay, I think it's just very loud. Alright. Now, yeah, we're out in the middle of nowhere now. Good job, pilot. So here, like I said, I'll see if there's anything that needs to be shored up. I got plenty of fleet credits, plenty of dilithium, got plenty of everything I need, so I'm not too worried. Actually, she probably doesn't have much dilithium when I think about it. No, she's 0 unrefined, but she's got like 5 million. That's not too bad. I spent a lot of it shoring up these projects, so if you're wondering what happened to my dilithium, that's what happened. um, but I want to make sure you guys can actually keep these things provisioned, and so you know that I'm doing my part. See, doing my part, not slacking off. Make contributions as well. But yeah, I mean, keep supporting these things. Make sure that everything is done. All right. Okay. And yeah, we look like we're in decent shape. I don't think anybody's going to go to the stores and walk away empty-handed if they need to. That's the main thing. That's what matters, and that's why it's the way it is. Okay. Remember to support Prophet and also his side with the KDF fleet. I'm going to wrap up the stream and sign out in a moment. And see sort of like just look at what's going on here. Maybe I'll do another fleet mail send out to you guys. Just a reminder again, like you can see all our information here. The Discord channels, our Discord channels in the description, because I absolutely still maintain a glimmer of hope that we'll actually restore our website. I'll let you know again, like if that happens, and then post it here if the web address here, of course, so that you can see it. This is obviously a good place to sort of centralize all the information. But yeah, watch out for alerts when I put them up here. So make sure make room in your inboxes, especially you admirals out there, and also keep an eye on the information tab. Basically, I want to blow this little armada out. So if you have a fleet that you have in mind, or if you think I'm now sort of reopening the idea that we can join an armada ourselves if we want to. That might be a route to go. Like I said, I'm going to talk to these guys over at the Apocalypse Survivors and see what they're like in terms of when I actually talk to them instead of just sort of listening in on what they have to say, and then get a better feel for what the armada system works. That's really going to be, I guess, the next thing that I'm worried about, or not worried about, but sort of interested in and curious about, trying to figure out. And yeah, if you guys want to create little subfleets, hop on, pull some folks together. We'll find ways to work together to expand those fleets and support them. Yeah, do what you gotta do. And that's it. Thank you all. Happy spring. Welcome to the new season. A little damp at the moment, but that's spring. April showers. All right. So I'm gonna sign out. Sugi2K, and I'll see you later. I think. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Take care. loud. Maybe I should turn it down. It's so atmospheric. Nice sound. Alright, have fun, guys.